All right, hey. So I know you're buddy-buddy with Michael Knowles. Recently, he said the phrase, quote, we should eradicate transgenderism. And
that is correct. Yeah, you got it right.
So I know you
From
agree
public
with him.
life, yeah.
I know you agree with him on some level. How would you go about that? How do you eliminate transgenderism without eliminating transgenders?
Guys, okay, I warned you about this. I love the passion. Just let the process play out, okay? Jeez. So specifically, he said transgenderism, right, which is an ideology, and he said
they're intertwined, like Judaism and Jewish people, like.
Well, hold on. He said from public life, okay? So, yeah, that's not the best example. It's just don't use that one. But let me kind of zero in on this. Yeah, I do agree with it 100%. The best way is that we should not be platforming or acting as if a mental delusion is normal, good for children, or something that is acceptable in decent society.
So, in what way is it? Okay, so throughout history, we've had these medical breakthroughs where we learn that things are just like how people are, you know. Who's to say that somebody is not born the wrong gender? Like, what is there? So I'm
Do
just
it again,
asking,
we're going to have to kick you out. Please don't interrupt.
How do you know that what's happening right now isn't like a medical breakthrough? How do you know it is a mental illness to be eradicated?
Yeah, 5,000 years of recorded history and common sense that men can't
But
give
back
birth.
in history, were there not like skeletons being dug up with female artifacts around them? Were there not sculptures of two married women? I mean, it's been a thing forever. It's been, transgenderism,
let's play this out.
LGBTQ.
So how do I know that biological reality is true? Chromosomes.
I'm not arguing about biological reality.
Yeah, my chromosomes instruct my opinion first and foremost. So XX, XY chromosomes, and I reject the term gender, actually. It's sex. And you have a sex at birth, and you cannot change that. So let me just kind of ask a question. Medical advancements, the medical community can be very wrong. We used to do lobotomies, and I'm glad we stopped doing that. So doctors have been wrong before, and in fact, doctors have been wrong about a lot of things over the last 100 years. And in fact, if all of a sudden the medical consensus from the AMA, which is headquartered right down the street, by the way, is that we have to have these pediatric gender-affirming reassignment clinics that have breast reduction surgery or literally mastectomies for 12 or 13-year-olds to then assign them Lupron, estrogen, and testosterone treatment for somebody that might just be going through puberty and having anxiousness and unease, I'm probably going to call that doctor a fraud, and any person with common sense should do that too.
Okay, super quick. Last thing. So my main question was about the term eradicate transgenderism.
Yeah, sure. So can I give you some examples?
Yeah, sure.
We shouldn't teach it in our schools. We also shouldn't allow men to compete against women in NCAA sports. Okay.
What about the people who are transgender that have converted, are currently transgender?
This? So why
would you forcefully detransition them?
Yeah, why couldn't Thomas still compete against men despite his mental delusion? Why do we have to reaccommodate all female sports for a single individual that obviously has an advantage with bone density and testosterone production? Why is it now our problem? Why does society have to reorganize and reconfigure for one very loud, obviously disturbed person? Wouldn't it be more fair to say, okay, you have a problem, so keep competing in the category that you were born to. You can still wear whatever you want, I guess, and dress and do the treatments you want, but since you're such an excellent swimmer, go swim against boys. Oh, because he's a narcissist and he used to finish 200 against boys, and when he competes against girls, he wins the championship because he's a cheat. Because it's all about him, not about the competition or about fairness.
Okay, I mean, that's all I was wondering. Thanks.